We got Super Bowl 60, Seahawks, Patriots, Sunday, Peacock. Let's go. Prediction Sunday. We at it.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. We are back.
Hey guys, this is your friend.
Welcome everybody back for another episode of the Money Pod Sports Show. We are doing Super Bowl predictions for Super Bowl 60, the biggest pick betting game of the year. And we have our big preview show going on right now. We're going to go through some plays to go through, and we're going to see what we like, what we don't like. Kind of Super Bowl's kind of weak this year, I feel. Like there's no uh kind of hype for it, I guess is my thought. But just want you to know how we're talking, how we're doing. Make sure you're looking at, let me fix the camera real quick. There we go. A little bit lights out, but make sure you're looking at below so you guys can see how we're talking and what we're doing. So let's bring up the handy dandy scoreboard. And we are looking at DraftKings at the moment. Right now, line is at 4.5. Hasn't moved a bit. It jumped up to 4.5. It was 45.5. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. Just a little bit. I want to wiggle it. All right. Yeah, 4.5 money line minus 230. New England is plus 190. I don't really have a side. I would lean New England here. When you look at New England and you look at the way they played, they really haven't given up much to anybody all year. I believe they've only given up two passing touchdowns for the most part, at least average. So their defense is pretty good. You kind of put Gonzalez on JSN and you kind of make Seahawks kind of try to beat you in a different way. And then vice versa, New England's offensive line has been horrendous throughout the playoffs, 15 sacks in 3 games. So they're really vulnerable from an attacking style Seattle defense. Mike McDonald has those guys playing and flying around. So interesting matchup when you think about it a little bit of the X's and O's, offense versus defense, and how this game is actually going to play out. So I do expect a low scoring game. I would lean to the under here at that 45.5. That makes a lot of sense to me. Ground out type of game. A lot of field goals. I don't see there's going to be a lot of touchdowns here. So I think that's where we're going to stick with our previews and what we're talking about. So let's get into some spots that we kind of like today. Let's start off right off the gate. Let's go with the MVP. So the way I see this game and the way it's going to play out, I think it's going to be a lot of field goals. I really do. I know in a previous show I talked about Shaheed. I think there's going to be somebody like Shaheed who makes a big play that stands, that changes the momentum of the game. I think Sam gets googly eyes and sees ghosts out there a little bit. It's the Super Bowl. It's his first Super Bowl. Same with Drake May, young guy, second year, going to see Google eyes. But Drake May's seen a lot of good defenses. So seeing Seattle's not, I don't think it's going to spook him too much. But he's going to get happy feet. He's going to want to move. Everybody's going to be amped for this game, and as they should. So with that being said, I'm taking a flyer. It's been a while since a kicker has won the MVP. Long shot, of course. Super long shot. But I think Seattle does win this game. And I think Jason Myers might kick a winning 54-yard field goal, right? A score like 18-16, something silly like that. And I think the NFL would want New England to win because Drake May could be the new face, but I just don't think that offensively they're going to be able to do a lot because I think they're just going to get swarmed by a defense. And I don't think Seattle's going to do anything crazy on offense. So I think it's going to come down to the kicking game. I think it's going to come down to special teams, just like I kind of said. And then if that's the case, then I have to lean towards Seattle in that game and their kicking game, and then Shaheed with the return. So when you think about that, think about how that could play. I like both these plays with the Super Bowl MVP. You could kind of double pick it, right? Put a little bit on each. You know, it's the Super Bowl. Probably last time you bet it, maybe, you know, 20 here, right? To win you 2 grand, and even maybe go a little bit more, 30 here, right? To win you 900. That ain't bad for a half a unit play, right? That ain't bad on long shots. So those are my MVP picks. Really like this Jason Myers. I was thinking about this for a while. I don't think it's going to be who you think. Obviously, the quarterbacks make a lot of sense here, but I just don't think the quarterbacks are going to perform. I think the moment's going to be too big. Somebody else is going to have to step up. We don't know who that is. So I could see this being a Jason Myers type thing. I don't think anybody defensively will do it. You could, I know Nick Anamaniwari is getting some love. I just don't see it. I think he was limping around or something like that. I don't think he's 100%. They said he had full practice, so I don't know. I just don't see it. But all right, let's go to next. TD scores, ATTS, anytime scores. They don't give up a lot, like I said, from a New England's secondary. So you see where I'm leaning of where I'm going, but I think Cooper Kupp gets a touchdown like from the 3 yard line, 4 yard line. New England's tough up front with Milt and I forget the other big guy, number 90, off the top of my head, his name. So I don't know how good they're going to be able to run the ball with Kenneth Walker. So give me Cooper Kupp here, a little bit of 250. I like that. I think those are good odds there. At 250, and we just saw Seattle be able to get burnt on the pass a little bit, against the Rams. The problem is I just don't see. First of all, Drake May is not a good throw per PFF over 10 yards. He's only at 65%, so he's not a good down the field thrower in terms. And these defenses are knowing that, and they're playing close to the line. So you can get some people to get behind that defense, but it's going to be a lot of dink and dunk, I think. It's going to be a grind out kind of offensive play. Teams trying to figure each other out. So Kayshon Boutte sounds right, but he's only had 3 touches in the last 3 games. So I don't know if I like that. I do like Cooper Kupp. He's the one with experience. He's the one who's going to be here. And I think that Darnold is going to look to rely on the veteran in Cooper Kupp. So give me a little bit of Cooper Kupp touchdown. I don't mind him with 2 touchdowns either. I think if you're going for a little bit of gamble here, they go right back to him and get him 2 touchdowns, kind of put him in that conversation for MVP as well. All right. Novelty props. I don't really see anything here. Oh, yeah, of course. What am I talking about? I'll say this out loud again. I said this already. The best play in the Super Bowl is the coin toss. Yes, it is a guess. Yes, it is obviously a gamble, but it has the best odds. When you look at odds and odds makers of how they pick, of how they come up with these numbers here, it's based on odds. And the odds here on this play is the best. It is the only 50-50 play that you'll ever get in any game. If you're talking about putting some money out there on the sporting events. So this is the one that you actually want to do if you do them all. It sets you up for a good day. I like tails. Tails never fails for me. So I think 52%, 52.7% has landed on tails in the Super Bowl. I like those odds. I'll take the 2.5% over the 50 any day of the week. Any edges you can get, go grab it. Tails never fails. Make sure you make this play. Please make sure you make the play. Another one that I saw down here, I think, is so pass attempts. I really like this play. I think it'll be New England who does it. Mike Vrabel has been in multiple Super Bowls. He's caught multiple touchdowns. He's caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So I feel that he's the one with the deeper bag to pull out all the stops, right? Julian Edelman through. So I think that they're going to pull out a trick play to make, get something happen, especially if the offense is stale, nothing's happening. They're going to have to figure something out how to do this. So I like this number. I think it's really good in terms of your odds. At plus 160, you get plus money. Should be probably a little bit up a little bit more, but you already think you got 2. You only need one more player to do it. And as soon as you see a player throw a pass, then you're good because you know Drake May's going to throw one, and you know Sam Darnold's going to throw one. So I really like this bet. At the end in the Super Bowl, it's just like I think teams pull out all the stops. Wouldn't surprise me if Seattle pulls out a trick play either. It really wouldn't. All right. So I don't have anything from passing, receiving, and even rushing. I think it's gonna be a ground out game. Maybe you get receptions with Diggs. He leads them in 11 receptions over 3 games. So you know, one minus 134 is a little bit steep. 6 seems a lot right. This is actually probably decent, play. I think that Drake May will rely on short passes, short yardage stuff. He got sure hands and digs, so he'll make some tough catches. He's going to want the ball in the biggest spotlight, so that's what he does. So I actually kind of like this one. I didn't have this on my play sheet, but if you guys really like this one, I would take a stab at this one. But other than that, I don't really have any props here because I don't know what the game is going to feel like, in terms of what we're looking at here. All right. I think squares are really cool here for the Super Bowl. So if you don't know what a square is, this is the second digit of the score. And if your second digit, so if it's, here, right, that means it would be 13 to 11, right? That would be how this would hit. And you would win based on your number, you would hit this amount. I think this is a really cool game. It goes by quarter, and it says any quarter. So if any quarter this hits, so a good one is 3-0, right? And that ends on a quarter, you're good, or right here, 6-3, right? That's another good one. I think ends on any quarter. So be strategic in how you do this. This is pure luck. Nothing you can do about it, but it's kind of fun. And these odds are pretty good here. What's this? 7-0. Like these make sense. That's good odds. It's better than any office pool. I'll tell you that. All right. And for the end here of going through all these, like I said before, New England Patriots have been sacked. Drake May and the New England Patriots have given up 15 sacks in 3 games. That's 5 sacks per game. So with this type of pass rush, New England's going to have some problems, right? They're going to have some problems with this pass rush. And I like DeMarcus Lawrence to get off here. I think DeMarcus Lawrence has at least a sack. I'm getting him at plus numbers. I think he gets after it. It's going to be him versus Will Campbell, and Campbell has struggled against good rushing ends all playoffs. This is my favorite move of the day right here. This is the best one of the day, I think, of all the plays that I picked. Give me DeMarcus Lawrence to give me a sack. Love that play. And then one more, we're going to get a little bit greedy because it's the Super Bowl. We're going to go right back to DeMarcus Lawrence, and we're going to go down. Come on, baby. Come on. And we're going to say DeMarcus Lawrence to have a sack in each half. I think he's close to 2 sacks. This has to be a full sack, so it has to be 2 sacks. So I think he does this, and I think that this would be great, right? 10-1 play, maybe put, 25 on there, get you 275. Do not go crazy on the Super Bowl. It's obviously that most heavily played game of the year, but, it's one game. Be smart. Know your bankroll. There's no reason to go OD on the Super Bowl, right? No reason whatsoever to go OD on the Super Bowl. So those are my best plays for Super Bowl 60. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys win a lot of money, and I hope that we have a good and fun Super Bowl moving forward. This is Moss Money. This is Money Pot. I will see you guys for the next show.